for the stream to start? Stream is about to start. Are you ready for the stream to start? Stream is about to start. Are you ready for the stream to start? Stream is about to start. Are you ready for the stream to start? Stream is about to start. Are you ready for the stream to start? Stream is about to start. Are you ready for the stream to start? Stream is about to start. Are you ready for the stream to start? Stream is about to start. Are you ready for the stream to start? Stream is about to start. Are you ready for the stream to start? Stream is about to start. Are you ready for the stream to start? Stream is about to start. Are you ready for the stream to start? Stream is about to start. Are you ready for the stream to start? Stream is about to start. Are you ready for the stream to start? Stream is about to start. Are you ready for the stream to start? Stream is about to start. Are you ready for the stream to start? Stream is about to start. Are you ready for the stream to start? Stream is about to start. Are you ready for the stream to start? Stream is about to start. Are you ready for the stream to start?
It should be working now. Do I have sound? Televised. Tell me if I have sound. CD Hunter says no sound. Do I have sound? I think I've managed to stick it on. Someone comment. Tell me if I've got sound. I love that. I love that. Now. Exciting. And can you hear my guitar? If I play a little sexy lick. Do you hear that as well? Tell me if you hear the guitar. So Matt Green says yes, but that's not to the guitar. Tell me if you hear the guitar. Very important if I'm going to play songs. And City Hunter says yes, guitar sounds good. It must be late in New Zealand or he's hallucinating. So as I said when I was silent, welcome to the 7th level of hell. There are those who say that global warming doesn't exist. It is the first week in September in Berlin. Matt Green says guitar is 83% bitchin'. You can tell his age. Is bitchin'? Do the kids use bitchin'? Or do they use Riz nowadays? Anyway. Yeah. There are those who say global warming doesn't exist. It's the first week in September in Berlin and it's 35 degrees Celsius. And as you can see by my ham face, I'm absolutely sweating my nuts off. And so the thing is, I haven't done a stream for a while, and part of the reason is it's just so bloody hot in here. And I thought I'll do one in September. It's bound to be fine, and it's not. It's completely boiling hot. So tonight, what we're going to do is I'm going to play some songs on my axe. It's not an axe. I can't chop down a tree with it. It's actually made of wood. So that'd be ironic, wouldn't it, if I chopped down a tree with it? Is that ironic? Is that what irony means? So, I'm going to play some songs. I'm going to answer... Well, at the moment, I've got one question to answer. So please, people, put some questions in the chat so I can answer them. And you can ask me about anything. And I'm going to tell you a story about putting up my games for auction at Essen. Because some people are bloody unbelievable. I'm going to play some songs and then I'm going to go through my... So I'm doing a video this week of my top 5 games that I'm excited for at Essen. And I'm going to go through the ones that didn't quite make the list on this stream. And there's some cool ones. Essen looks quite cool this year. Yeah, so pop some questions in the chat. And that. And I'm just going to play a song now. So, story behind this one is there is an indie... Well, it's not indie. It's owned by the national broadcaster, but it plays sort of indie music in Berlin called Radio 1, Radio 1. It's nothing like British Radio 1. And for over the summer, they've been building up to the top 100 Britpop songs. And then on last Sunday, they played their top 100 Britpop songs, right? And there were some songs... I'm going to play a song that certainly isn't Britpop right now. But Bittersweet Symphony got number 1. Not a bad choice. Definitely a Britpop song. I think Blur's best one was Boys and Girls, and it should have been To the End, which is amazing. But it reminded me, and I posted this on the Discord the other day. So I posted this in the Discord the other day. One of the songs, it was like number 50 or something, was a song by a band I haven't thought about in 20 years. And this is a British band called Manson. They released 3 albums in the 90s. And their first album, Attack of the Grey Lantern, was one of my favourite albums for ages, and I haven't thought about it in years. I mean, just amazing. And I re-listened to it. I was away on a German island last weekend. And this island is truly paradise. It's beautiful island, very picturesque, and no cars are allowed on the island. It's absolutely brilliant, called Hiddensee. Don't go, don't ruin it. And on the way back on the train, I listened to their first album, Attack of the Grey Lantern, and I haven't listened to it in 20 years, at least 20 years. And it is still amazing, absolutely amazing. And I'm going to play a couple of songs from that album tonight. And I'm going to start off with probably their most famous song. And in all honesty, it's probably their best song. And it's a really good song. It's really atmospheric and sinister and that. And the video is really cool. It's about a vampire killing people. And yeah, I'm gonna play this and see if I don't fuck it up. It's quite hard on my voice. My voice isn't in very good fettle at the moment. And if you listen, I've put a bit of tremolo on my guitar to make it sound spookier. I'm in a wide open space. I'm standing. I'm all alone, staring into space. space. It's always quiet through mine. Ceiling, the roof comes in and crashes in a daze. I'm in a wide open space. It's freezing. You'll never get to heaven with a smile on your face for me. I'm in a wide open space. I'm staring. There's something quite bizarre I cannot see. And on the top of a hill, I'm lonely. There's someone here to shout to miles away. I could be back in my house, or I can't. They do not hear me. It's the same way. I'm in a wide open space. It's freezing. You'll never get to heaven with a smile on your face for me. I'm in a wide open space. I'm staring. There's something quite bizarre I cannot see. I'm in a wide open space. I'm standing. I'm all alone, staring into space. It's always quiet through my ceiling. The roof comes in and crashes in a daze. I'm in a wide open space. It's freezing. You'll never get to heaven with a smile on your face for me. I'm in a wide open space. I'm staring. There's something quite bizarre I cannot see. I'm in a wide open space. It's freezing. You'll never get to heaven with a smile on your face for me. I'm in a wide open space. I'm staring. There's something quite bizarre I cannot see. There we go. What a tune. What a tune. Oh, excellent. So, I'm just looking for BJ from Board Game Gumbo's questions on the old channel. Okay, I don't know if I've answered any of these, but I'm going to answer... Oh, no, I definitely answered that one. So, okay, excellent. So... Colin Hunter says, nice. Nailed those chord changes. Very easy. It's just D minor. And a weird A. D. And A. It's very easy. It's very easy. I'm not a great guitar player, but I can play those four chords. Excellent. So, So, what else is... So, today... No, yesterday... No, today, I put up a 5G for D Classic. It was Shem Phillips. Great interview. I had Ori Kagan on Monday. Back in September. Back with loads of podcasts. I'm doing a video. And I'm hoping in the next 2 weeks I can have some absolutely incredible news. Well, it's incredible news for me. I mean, you might not be excited. It doesn't particularly affect you. But I want to start off with a story of pettiness. And it blows my mind sometimes how petty people can be. So, for those of you watching who haven't been to Essen, one of the highlights of Essen is the whatchamacallit. Sorry, I'm doing two things at once. I shouldn't be doing that. That's terrible. Okay, one of the things at Essen is the no shipping auction. This is an institution. I've been participating in the no shipping auction for 7 or 8 years. And what it is they put a geek list up on BGG. And you auction off games you want to sell. And then people bid on them. And then you hand them over at Essen. And you get money for them and that. And I use it to buy games at Essen. I sell games I don't play. And then I use it to buy games. And if you look, I've got quite a few spaces on my shelves at the moment because I'm flogging some games off. Well, so last year, I think I sold about 10 games. And there was one game I didn't sell. And to be fair, it was my fault. I was supposed to meet a guy and I just ended up doing something else and forgetting. And so he didn't get his game, right? And the point is here that I didn't take his money beforehand. You hand over the money there. And I would be insistent on that. I wouldn't want to take people's... I don't buy any games on this auction. But I wouldn't want to take people's money beforehand, just in case something like this happens and I don't turn up to give them the game. So, I mean, not the greatest thing in the world to do. A bit shitty. In my defense, he's probably there waiting to pick up other games. So I'm probably not, robbing that much of his day. But still, I should have turned up, I agree, and I was awaiting something else. But, I in terms of crimes, not entirely victimless, but then again, not entirely terrible either. Well, this year I go to put up my games that I wish to sell up on the board. And I guess this guy must have had, and of course I wouldn't say any names here, I guess this guy must have had a notification for me when I put games up. Because I put my games up, and within 2 minutes, this is not a lie, I'm not exaggerating here, within 2 minutes on every post, he had written something saying, buyer beware, this person didn't give me my game. And the way he'd phrased it kind of made it sound like I'd taken his money. And look, if you're buying tons of games, it's possible that some just don't get bloody handed over, right? It's just possible that you miss each other. It's Essen, it's big, people are doing tons of stuff. And I'm just shocked at the pettiness of this. Now, tell me, I didn't deliver him his game last year, but tell me, do you think I'm an arsehole for having... And do you think I'm an arsehole for thinking that this is an overreaction? Pop it in the comments. But it's bloody amazing. It blew my mind, honestly. All right, so we've got a couple of questions to answer, and then I'll go through my... I'm great. As you can see, I'm absolutely amazing at multitasking. So this is from BJ at Shrimpy Gumbo. And he asks, your board game design is coming out soon. Who do you hope Ignacy signed to paint or design the box cover? Now, it's the joke between... So CD Hunter said, I'm just drafting defamation proceedings for you. As CD Hunter is the 5G4D lawyer, I'm glad he's on the case. But yes, so... The joke is, if you haven't listened to the Spielworks Bulletin, which is a podcast I do every week with Uli Blenneman, and it's fabulous. Every week, every month, but not every week. With Uli Blenneman, there's this joke that I keep trying to pitch my game to Uli, and he says, well, Ignacy has got the the first refusal on it. Ignacy has not signed my game, by the way. Although the game is getting a lot better now. It's not quite pitchable yet, but it's definitely getting... I've play tested it a lot. I would hope... if anyone here is going to Essen, you can try my prototype out at Essen. Don't run away! Don't run away! Anyway, but I guess the question is, who do you like as a board game? Yeah, mistakes like that happen in big sales events. I mean, it was my bloody fault. I was slack. I mean, but Christ. I mean, I thought it was going to completely upend me selling any of my games this year. It turned out it didn't. But anyway. So, I guess the question is, who do I like as an artist in board gaming? And I guess I like, rather than, I think, necessarily artistic acumen necessarily, although that's important, I think the kind of artists I like are the ones that are singular. This is water, by the way. It's necessary. Right? This is really... And I've got stage lights on me. It's horrendous. But, so it's artists who are singular. So the first one, and he gets a lot of grief, but for me, is the archetypal Eurogame artist. When I see his art on a game, I instantly think this is going to be a game for me. Because I love Eurogames. And, you know, a lot of games have this beautiful art that is very striking, but at the same time, it looks like kids' art and everything. And this is Clement Franz. He did Agricola, Gates of Liang, Le Havre, Orléans. He was the Euro artist for years. And I just think there is a word in German that I said to him, this is what your art's like, called gemütlich. And it kind of means, it's the same as hygge in Danish. It's kind of cozy, nice, comfortable. And when I see Clement's art, especially, I think, on Agricola, I think his art is faultless in Agricola. When I see his art, I am just taken by just how just calming and wonderful it is. And of course, you know, Le Havre is one of my favourite games. And so, I was playing with Steve recently, and he said, this needs an upgrade. And he said, the art needs redoing. The art does not need redoing. I think Clement's art is so full of character. It is so full. It is so evocative of a kind of game. I absolutely love his art. Vincent Dutrait is really popular right now, and he's not my favourite artist. It's not because I think he's bad, because he obviously isn't. He's fantastic. There's Clements as well on Colonists there. It's not because he's bad. It's just something about his art doesn't really connect with me. But another artist I really love is David Koshar, and he was the one who did the Dungeon Lords Dungeon Pets games. On those games, his art is so characterful and so exciting, and I really love it in those games, especially because those games are amazing. Andrew Bosley is brilliant. His art is really evocative. I would love him to do the cover for my RPG, but I just don't think I have the money, unfortunately, because I would have to pay that out of my own pocket. Because I was thinking about running a Kickstarter for the RPG, and you need to have the cover for the Kickstarter. And so I would need to pay it. And I don't have a company, and so I would need to pay it out of pocket, and it would be, I assume, 4 figures, and I don't have 4 figures to pay for a bit of board game art. Who else is great? Give me a second. So, this is not an artist I think of, but this is one of the most arresting covers. I absolutely love the cover of this game. It is, if I get it in focus, it is absolutely wonderful, very evocative. When I first saw it, I bought the game on the strength of this cover. It happens to also be one of the best games ever made, because Martin is amazing. And let me see who the artist is for this. Let me see. CD Hunter saying crowdfund from the Discord. I don't think I'll get a grand from the Discord. And it's not going to be... I assume it'd be more than a grand as well. It's a shame. Peter Dennis did the artwork. I've never heard of Peter Dennis, but that is wonderful artwork. Yeah, so... But who would I want to... The question is, who would I want to do my game? I definitely want Ian O'Toole to do the graphic design, because I think he's brilliant. And, yeah, I guess for my RPG, it would be Andrew Bosley. And for my card game, I say my card game, I'm designing it with Penny Schechter. Our card game, it is the person who did the art for Sushi Go. That is perfect theming for our game. And I moan about games being like kids art, and that's kids art. Perfect theming for our game, though. Hang on. I did something then. Sorry about this. I hit the wrong button and I closed every window down. Okay, now I've got to open each. Oh, that's really frustrating. Give me a second. Wrong one. Sorry about this. I just closed all the windows and now I've got to reopen them. Oh, God. Okay. This is going well. It's the first one. There we go. Okay. So, last question and then... having a rough time. Sorry about this. Okay, so this is Jens the Hammer Folkman, and he asked, there are games like Earth that are polished to the point where they no longer have any character. I agree, and are simply bland. Does a game need rough edges to shine? And then he says, what are some nice rough edges you can think of? So, yes, games need rough edges to shine. I think you can overdevelop games. You can develop them to the point where the life has been taken out of them. I'm not a game designer, so I'm not ideally suited to this, but I think games that are completely prescribed are bad. Often I find with overdeveloped games, an issue is that they've been overdeveloped to the point where the game might encourage you to do the uninteresting thing. And that's really bad. That's why I really took against Gugong. And it's so amazing because I played Hansa Teutonica the other night and it's still such a brilliant game. And Gugong was so disappointing because I felt encouraged to do the unexciting thing. If you're looking at rough edges that are great, Hansa Teutonica is replete with them. You do have that fight over the action numbers at the beginning, which some people complain about, but I think it's just very clever. I tried to go in another direction and let two people fight over it, and it didn't work. You need to go there. But something like Vast is just full of rough edges, yet really good fun. It's all rough edges. Then again, there are games that have too many rough edges that feel uncompelling. And I find he's very hot at the moment, but I find Cole Whirly's games are too rough edges. There's not enough thought going into the mechanical interactions. I played Arcs, quite a bit over the last couple of weeks, and I hate it. The more I think about it, the more I just don't like the game. And I think it's because it hasn't been developed enough. It's too rough edgy. There's no depth to the game. It's all concept rather than game, and that needs more development. I found the campaign a disaster. I enjoyed it more than the base game. I thought the base game was really unremarkable. And Matt Green says, Study in Emerald First Edition is what makes rough edges are what makes it great. Exactly. And that got the life developed out of it. And I spoke to Martin about that. And he said he felt that if he made it lighter, it would be more appealing. And that's not the case. I think the big games that are really successful tend to be light, family weight games. Ticket to Ride, Carcassonne, Wingspan, but something like a gamer's game can have rough edges, can be wonky in places, and still brilliant. I think second edition Arkham Horror is like this. I felt that they developed some of the rough edges out of it into Eldritch Horror, and it just made it dull. I guess what it is, and this is the problem we're suffering with at the moment when it comes to AI and stuff, is that we need to see the fingerprints on the things I'm trying to think of a word that's better than consume, but we need to see the fingerprints on them. We need to see we are an empathetic species by nature. We are a group species, and we need to see the evidence of the person that has constructed it. And without that, it just seems very bland. This is why AI art is just so odd to us, because it's too perfect in many ways. And I witnessed, it was Railroad Revolution, and I was friends with the people at Watch Your Game at the time, and I played a version of it that was maybe 4 or 5 iterations out of what the final game was, and I loved it. It was really good, and it was a bit rough and a bit unbalanced, and it took a bit too long, but it was really good. And then when the game came out, I found it had all the life developed out of it. It was sterile. And so I think rough edges are what make great art. Not in games, but Inland Empire by David Lynch is absolutely fantastic, and you'd be hard pushed to say that is a perfectly constructed movie. All right. So Betty asks, is Siedler das Kartenspiel for 2 players on your favorite game list now? So this is Settlers of Catan, the card game, and we played it together at the weekend when we were at the island, and it's bloody terrible. I was so surprised, because I don't mind Settlers. I haven't played it in ages, but I don't mind it. And my big issue with it is that it had loads. I was so surprised how much crappy take that it had. Like, completely random take that is just frustrating and just halts all of your progress just randomly. And then what I find was so amazing about the game is there are so many empty turns. There are so many turns where you just don't do anything. You just roll the dice and you either get punished or you don't get what you want and you just don't do anything. Really, so many empty turns. I think the base idea of the game is quite good, and I think this is a game that could be developed into something, because it's like a 90-minute game, and it shouldn't be a 90-minute game. It should be It shouldn't be a 90-minute game. It should be a 45-minute game. And it should be a 45-minute game, and it would be really great. And also, they tried to introduce negotiation in a zero-sum 2-player game. Negotiation is just not a thing. I'm not going to give you what you want. Yes, you did win. How did you do playing Tango, by the way? CD Hunter says, I think there is a mechanical benefit to many rough edges. The asymmetry of consequence and corresponding incentives makes games deeper and more interesting. Yes, that is absolutely right. And said in a far more eloquent manner than I could have said it. Okay, so I'm going to play a song, and then I'm going to get on to the Essen didn't quite make it to my favourite list. Let's have a look.
After break of dawn, we shiver like a winter brand and new. She's got the radioactive and it makes me feel okay. I don't feel okay. She's got the radioactive and it makes me feel okay. I don't feel okay. Grip for survival, just a walk. Smashing sevens like professor when it looks like a white sex line. We'll cover all the rugs with your perfume. She's got the radioactive and it makes me feel okay. I don't feel okay. She's got the radioactive and it makes me feel okay. I don't feel okay. She's got the radioactive and it makes me feel okay. I don't feel okay. She's got the radioactive and it makes me feel okay. I don't feel okay.
There we go. I've got a pedal, you see now. I've got a fuzz pedal. There was some fuzz there. And I'll turn the pedal off. There we go. Okay, so I've got to make sure I get this right now. I'm probably going to mess this up, but hopefully not. Time stop scared to go. Too many tabs on my computer. Doobie-doobie-doo. There we go. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so these are a list of games. They might not all be new games, but a list of games from Essen that didn't quite make my top 5 I want to get them games, but they look super interesting. And if you've got any comments, just pop them in the chat. So, first one is a Midsummer Night's Dream. Can I get this? I'm going to see if I can get this a bit bigger. And get this a bit bigger, see? Is that too big? Oh, that's all right. So, Midsummer Night's Dream. So, this is from a Taiwanese publisher. And the wonderful thing about Essen is really the whole world of games is there. And so you get a lot of really cool Asian games. I went through a phase when I got into gaming, because I'm an insufferable hipster. I went through a phase of getting all the Asian games from Japan brand, and most of them are crap, honestly. But some of them are great. Cthulhu, I got a Cthulhu little card game which was really good. Fram Rillier, it's called, and a couple of others. And because you're hoping to get the new love letter, right? And this one is a ladder climbing game in the style of Tichu or Shithead, and I'm sure it has no thematic connection to Shakespeare whatsoever, but at the same time it looks super interesting, super charming, and you know, it's 13 quid. What can you lose with 13 quid? And I love ladder climbing games, and I do not have enough of them in my collection. The next one is Battalion War of Ancients. The only reason this is on the list of games that I would like to get is because it's Paolo Mori. And I eventually met Paolo Mori for the first time at the Spiel des Jahres award ceremony because he was nominated for Captain Flip. And he's one of my favourite designers. All of his games are just great. They all have something. And there are some I like more than others. But, you know, this is a sort of... It's a action point, command cards, dice rolling, secret unit deployment game, if I put my finger up there. And, you know, Paolo Mori is a real master. I think he's one of the most underrated game designers in the industry, and I think he's one of the best. And there was a time that I said he was my favourite designer, and whether that is still true or not, he's certainly up there. And so that's going to be fantastic. So next one is obvious. So obvious, I just didn't put it in my video, and that's Black Forest. And this is the sequel to Glass Road. Everyone is very, very, very up on Glass Road. People really love it. I think Glass Road, I think that central card mechanism is wonderful. I think the game's too short. It doesn't feel like you get to do enough in it. I like it. I don't love it. I mean, Uwe Rosenberg, so it's good because he's always good. But this could fix it. And, you know, I love the Schwarzwald because Jürgen Klopp comes from the Schwarzwald. That's Black Forest in German. And, yeah, hopefully it'll be great. Now, this is on the list just because I want to talk about it. Because I own this one. It's just... hang on a second. I backed the Grail Games Kickstarter. It was 4 card games for 40 quid, I think. And this came in it, the new version of Bottle Imp. And it is... give me a second. And it's beautiful. It's a real pretty game. And also, it comes with these little glass bottles. They're not glass, they're plastic. Imps, you see? Ooh, look at that. Is it going to focus? It's focusing on my mind. Anyway, and so I wanted to talk about this because sometimes you play a game and you just go, bloody hell. And it happens less and less. The longer you are a gamer, the less... It's just because the human brain is a bastard. And essentially, the human brain just makes you tired of stuff after a time. And I'm not tired of gaming, but it's just so rare that you get such a electric thrill from a game. And I played Bottle Imp last week. It is so great. And then I played it on the subsequent... I played it last Thursday at Game Group and then on the subsequent Monday. And I was walking home with one of the guys I'd been playing with that night. And we had a 45-minute discussion about this game, this little trick-taking game. If you've never played it, it is devilish, it is mean, but my God, is it great. And once you learn the kind of heuristics of the game, it is absolutely fantastic. And I absolutely adore it. And it went in about 4 plays up into probably my top 20 games. It is so great. If you've never played Bottle Imp, play Bottle Imp. It is amazing. Now, I know nothing about Caesar and Cleopatra. Maybe it's a reprint. I don't know. Give me a second. When I closed down Google, did that do something? I think it probably did. Give me a second. I can't vamp and do 2 things at the time. I tell you what, I'm going to come back to this. I'm just going to give you a lovely song for a second.
Start. Are you ready for the stream to start? Stream is about to start. Are you ready for the stream to start? Stream is about to start. Are you ready for the stream to start? Stream is about to start. Are you ready for the stream to start? Stream is about to start. Are you ready for the stream to start? Stream is about to start. Are you ready for the stream to start? Stream is...
Oh, Oh, wrong one. Hang on. I'm good at this, aren't I? It's been a while. All right, hang on. Right, so Televised says yes. So Televised says it's a reprint of a classic Cosmo 2-player game. Now, the reason I put this on here is it's obviously a reprint, right? And what I'm hoping, because I played a few of these recently, I have one up here actually. It's the American version, but an Uwe Rosenberg one, Babel, that I played recently, which is really good. And I'm hoping, the reason I put this up here is that I'm hoping that it will be a revival of Cosmos publishing really great 2-player games, because those classic 2-player games from 25 years ago are just wonderful. And I hope they're getting all nostalgic and they're going to republish them. I have absolutely no idea. Whether this will, but hopefully it presages some publishing in that. So Cook Islands, the only reason this is on here is because it's Klaus-Jürgen Wrede. It's a new big box game from him, and it looks interesting. I can't say more than that. It's from Treffel. They've done quite a few good games actually over the last couple of years, and so it'll be interesting to see. I think that Klaus-Jürgen Wrede, interesting. It's interesting. I think he might be an underrated designer in the, he has his one big hit and no one talks about any of his other games. But all the other games I've played by him have been good, solid. I think him and Richard Garfield kind of share this, that they have one big game that completely overshadows everything else they do. But I'm hoping this will be a good one. Oh, I've got the German version of Unconscious Mind here. Das Unbewusste. Unconscious Mind. The reason this is on here, so I wouldn't review this because I did the voice for the video, so I wouldn't do a review of it, but it doesn't preclude me from talking about it. And I played it when I was in the States. Johnny got the first full production, all the bells and whistles Kickstarter version, and we played it one night. And so it's a little overwrought, but I think it's a really good game. I think it's really clever. And what is fascinating about it is that Johnny Pack is just one of those designers who has yet to really have a bona fide hit. And I've played a few of Johnny's games, and they're really good. He's a really good designer. I played Coloma with the expansion the year before when I was in the States, and that was wonderful. A wonderful midweight Euro game. And I'm just hoping that this will put him into the spotlights, but I'm also hoping he's got a game. I haven't played it. Oh, no, I did. I played the prototype, and I'm sure it's much, much different now. About Knights of the Round Table, and I hope, because Johnny is one of the nicest guys out there. He really likes to facilitate the community, and he goes out of his way. And I really hope that soon he will become a name to be reckoned with. And he'll make loads of money. So, Dead Cells. This is on here for two reasons. I talk about this a bit in the video. Firstly, it's a remake of a video game, and it says it's a board game version of a Metroidvania. That seems really interesting to me. I don't see how you do a Metroidvania, which is a very kinetic game, in a board game, but then again, I am not Antoine Bowser. So firstly that, and secondly, I haven't played a good dungeon crawler in ages. I haven't played a dungeon crawler in ages. And I grew up, when I got into gaming, I grew up on Descent 2nd Edition, and I just loved it. And I played a couple of campaigns of it, and I really want this to be good, and I might buy it because it's expensive, but I would love to play a good dungeon crawler. So, the next one, I have no confidence it's going to be any good whatsoever, and this is the board game version of Horror on the Orient Express, the Call of Cthulhu RPG module. And part of the reason I want to play this is because I really want to run the module. Call of Cthulhu was my first RPG when I was 17. My friend Duncan ran a one-shot, and it's still branded into my brain that night. It was just so cool. It was the coolest thing. RPGs, when they're done well, can be truly amazing, especially if you get in a situation where, you know, there is a problem. I'm doing an RPG show, and I think it's really great. And I think when you're performing an RPG, I think there is a call to make it entertaining, which means you can sometimes be taken out of the immersion as a player. And this is why I'd love to run this as an RPG and not record it. But I have no faith this game's going to be any good. I'm sure it's going to be rubbish, but I'm really interested in it, and I might actually play it, even though I don't play games at Essen very much. One year when I did my top 100, Patchwork was my favourite Uwe Rosenberg game. That is surprising, and I still think it's my second favourite. I have Patchwork, it's just there on a shelf. I adore it every time I play it. As is the way with games, you know, you don't play them after a while, they go out of rotation. I think it's one of his best. I think it is so tight. I think it is so tense. I remember playing it, and within 2 turns I was like, oh, okay, I think I know what I want to do. But it's also brutal, and I love it. And I'm going to pick up the 10-year anniversary edition just because I love the game so much. 10 bloody years. Christ. Risafa, Vladimir Suchy. His games are always solid. I haven't played a bad one by Delicious Games. And this is... I'm one of the few people... My favourite one is... Oh God, what's it bloody called now? Give me a second. It's the one with the rats. Can someone help me? It's the one with the rats. Something beginning with M. 1482. Absolutely love that game. Evacuation was good. I can't get over the fact it sounds like diarrhea. And I'm hoping this one will be excellent. He's really one of the best designers out there, Vladimir Suchy. They're always great, his games. Stevens. This is Roland Costa. They designed Dompierre, Cafe, Yinzi, Messina. Thank you, CW. Messina. Thank you very much. I can't remember the date. It's when the plague came to Europe. Stevens by Roland Costa. They are 2 of the nicest people in the world. They helped to organise Luriacon, which is the best board game convention in the world. And they make very tight... 1347, says CW. Thank you very much. They make big, heavy Euros because Portuguese designers make big, heavy Euros. And I'm sure it's going to be great. Here is another game that I've already played that I have. Give me a second. I should have prepared. Tango. I've got a different cover. This was part of the Kickstarter, the Grail Games Kickstarter. And I just wanted to talk about it because I really enjoyed this one. It's a 2-player... Tango, of course. It's a 2-player trick taker. And I've played a couple of 2-player trick takers, and the problem I found with 2-player trick takers is you don't feel like you play enough cards. You just play cards and it doesn't have that feeling of going around the table and everyone playing a card. This fixes it by you play 2 cards every trick. And like a lot of trick-taking games, it's quite... When you first play it, it's kind of difficult to grok. Excuse me. But after a while... After a while, the strategy starts to kick in. And this is a really devilish one. Because certain cards score, certain cards are negative. And what's brilliant is the higher cards give you negative points. So you want to not have high cards in the tricks you win. Because they will lose you points. And blah, 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 blah. And there is a lot of back and forth. It's a tricky game to be good at. And I really enjoyed it. I was really impressed. And this is David Harding. And he's the brother of Phil Walker Harding. and he should get some recognition for. He should get some recognition for Tango. It's really good. Lord of the Rings: Duel for Middle Earth is just on there because I love bloody Lord of the Rings. I'm listening to the audiobook of The Hobbit, and I've never read The Hobbit before. Isn't that amazing? And it's not as good, is it? But yeah, it's just on there. I'll probably get it. Probably not at Essen, because you don't need to get this one in Essen. But, you know, Duel for Middle Earth. Love Lord of the Rings. Tree Society. The reason I'm getting this is because I interviewed Matthew Dunstan and Brett Gilbert about the Spiel des Jahres. And they were really excited about Tree Society. They went out of their way to mention it. And so it's worth looking at. Oh, Unconscious Mind is on here twice. Oh, that's good. It's good of me, isn't it? And finally, Winston, 1984. So this is a single-player game. I talk about this on the video, actually. It's a single-player game based on 1984. And the reason that sounds like a really great idea to me is that because of the nature of 1984, so much of 1984 is in Winston's head. Because obviously he can't speak about these things, because if he speaks about these things, he'll get... And if you read the book... I'm not worried about spoilers for a book that was published in 1948 at the end. Well, kind of. He will. And this sounds like a brilliant premise for a solo game. Now, I've no idea if it's going to be any good. But at 18 quid, you can't really go wrong, I don't think. And it sounds like a brilliant concept. And so I definitely will pick this up, I think. I like a good solo game. It's going to be small. I like a small solo game apart from Nemo's War, which is not small, but fantastic. And just the idea... If they implement it well, it could be super interesting. And this is really interesting because it's the second game on the list that is based on 1984. There's another game which is a bigger game based on 1984, which is really weird. Is it just become public domain? It's not public domain, 1984, right? Or is it? I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to play one more song, and then I'm going to go out. This has been rather unfocused this evening. It's because I'm dying of heat stroke because of the heat in this bloody city. So this is another song by Manson, the group from the 90s that I'm just currently obsessed with. And this is the third track on the album, I think, and it's really nice. I mean, the big problem is... he sings in a register. He sings in a register that wrecks my voice, but I'm not going to do the intro. But this is a great tune. And if I start this small debate, center of the universe is up for sale. If my melody should fall, tune is unimportant, as I've said before. Or should I say it was the words I should, standing in grey lantern light. Maybe's looking sexy through a dress it shines. Hiding in the vestry, she recites her lines. I can't see you, I love you, I miss you. I can't see you, I love you, I do. And if I think you're watching me, I control the actions of this destiny. And if my sentiments ring true, feeling in the mirror, laughing back at you, to tell you how it sings, I would, dancing in grey lantern light. Ladies looking sexy in a dress it shines. played a slightly shorter version of that because of the sound laws in Germany. Well, that's it. I think it was pretty horrific tonight, but back on the horse, learning the software all over again. I'm going to do this on a weekly basis from now on, and hopefully the weather will play ball and I won't be in a sauna next time. So thank you ever so much for watching, and I shall see you next week. I'm going to upload my Essen video probably the end of this week or the beginning of next week. So watch that to get the 5 games that I absolutely, positively, definitely have to have. I'm probably not going to get all of them. But anyway, 5 games I positively, definitely have to have. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you funky kids